First of all, a good morning and thank you to all of you for being here. This is a very vital element of our intergovernmental process, and I'm really delighted that you could all make it here. So at the outset, let me recognize Your Excellency, Minister for Health and Medical Services from Fiji, Mr. Jeff Montgomery, Registrar General of New Zealand and representative of the former Regional Steering Group on CRVS, and other distinguished representatives from various countries and other experts. This first meeting of the Regional Steering Group on civil registration and vital statistics in Asia Pacific is going to be hopefully setting the scene for more substantive work and guiding all of us as well as other member states on how to proceed. Some of you who may have been there last November, our member states declared the Asian and Pacific Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Decade 2015 to 2024. And I understand many of you were participants in those key deliberations. As members of the Regional Steering Group on CRVS, as I see, you will play a very vital and critical role in realizing the vision of the decade, that by 2024, all people in Asia and the Pacific will benefit from universal and responsive CRVS systems. So I thank you at the outset for accepting this important challenge. I'm sure you all know there's a lot of excitement in New York. In September, world leaders will adopt a universal, comprehensive and ambitious new sustainable development agenda, which will have obviously game-changing implications for our development work at the national as well as at the regional levels. The Regional Steering Group is thus embarking its work at a very critical time. The urgent need for reliable data, for evidence-based policy analysis, and the importance of well-functioning public administrative systems for just and people-centered development have been central to dialogues on the new development agenda. The post-2015 development agenda has provided a major impetus to CRVS, which is gaining momentum, as I see, at the national, regional, and global levels. The attention is well-deserved. CRVS systems are critical to achieving inclusive, resilient, and prosperous societies. They provide people with legal identity, a first and necessary step for them to exercise their rights and duties as members of society and to making the most of their opportunities. CRVS can have a transformative impact on people's lives, including on health, education, and employment. CRVS systems are also a critical source of data to effectively monitor the implementation of new development agenda. Many of the proposed new sustainable development goals will rely heavily on data generated from CRVS systems. This includes, for example, Goal 3 on maternal health, Goal 4 on education, Goal 5 on gender equality, and Goal 17 on data for development. There is therefore an urgent need for improved data to support sustainable development across Asia and the Pacific. This was underscored by member states at the 71st Commission session in May earlier this year. The Commission has mandated this regional steering group to steer the implementation of the Asia and Pacific CRVS decade 2015 to 2024. In doing so, it emphasized the close link between realizing the commitments from the Ministerial Conference on CRVS and successful implementation of the post-2015 development agenda. The regional steering group is going to be instrumental in maintaining the momentum created by the Ministerial Conference. An important element of this will be to use the ESCAP regional platform to secure increased funding for CRVS improvements, and we count on your campaign for that. In this context, I'm also pleased to note that the Get Everyone in the Picture initiative has already influenced other actions, such as Global Financing Facility in support of Every Woman, Every Child, which was launched in Addis Ababa at the landmark 3rd International Conference on Financing for Development about 2 weeks ago. And one of the reasons I have lost my voice is because I was there. The conference made specific reference to CRVS systems, recognizing their potential to generate information for national plans and investment opportunities. The work of the regional steering group will be guided by the 3 goals embedded in the ministerial declaration: 1, universal civil registration; 2, legal documentation for all; and 3, accurate, complete, and timely vital statistics. These goals have been elaborated with targets, action areas, and implementation steps in the Regional Action Framework on CRVS. The aims are to ensure that the number of unregistered children, currently estimated at 135 million, will have been brought down dramatically by the end of the decade, and that the enormous under-registration of deaths will have been addressed, so that we no longer will have to work with imprecise estimates. Our goal is instead to have real data that reflects an accurate picture of the challenges we face. This is, of course, a tall order, but we are not starting from scratch. Many countries in Asia and the Pacific have already completed several of implementation steps outlined in the framework. For example, most countries in the region have already conducted assessments of their CRVS system and identified areas for improvements. Coordination mechanisms for CRVS have been set up in several countries, including Australia, Pakistan, and the Philippines, and I may have missed others. In Pakistan, colleagues in the Ministry of Planning, and the Minister of Planning was here during our commission, indicated that they are working intensively with development partners to strengthen coordination for improvement, for improved CRVS. In Australia, I'm sure we'll learn much more. Efforts are focused on minority groups where civil registration can still be improved. In Cambodia and Kazakhstan, detailed national CRVS development plans are under formulation. From an advocacy perspective, it is encouraging to see that Philippines has declared the year 2015 to 2024 a national CRVS decade. So congratulations to you all. Your deliberations over the next few days will culminate in decisions on how you, as custodians of the CRVS decade, can support countries to enhance these activities even further. Our efforts are also being facilitated by a unique partnership between member states and international organizations, which has been built and expanded over the past 4 years. This is a major strength, as CRVS systems cannot be improved in isolation. Instead, this calls for a holistic and integrated approach and requires detailed expertise in health, statistics, registration, planning, community engagement, and much more. I'm therefore particularly heartened to see so many areas of expertise and experience represented on this regional steering group. In conclusion, a well-functioning regional steering group is critical to ensuring that we get everyone in the picture during Asia-Pacific CRVS decade. This week is valuable opportunity to strategize, plan, and position, laying the foundation for the work of the group over the next 5 years. I wish you all successful and conclusive deliberations and look forward to your guidance, and thank you once again for being here to support this very valuable work. Thank you very much.